Alright, writing a paper, starting from the beginning. Let's start out with our formatting. So, double click on the top of the page, insert a page number on the top right, put your last name, sorry, I'm just gonna choose, that's my brother's name. Alright, make that Times New Roman size 12. Then you go into the essay, top left hand side, not in a header, just in the essay, we're Times New Roman size 12. We're going to double space and remove space after paragraph if you are in Word. Alright, so you put your name, your teacher's name, the class, the date that it is due, starting from day, month, year. Press enter, center your cursor, do a place saver for your title. If you know your title, type it now. Your title should be the topic of your essay, so what you're trying to talk about. Then you left align your cursor. Now what happens first, let me get to my notes real quick, sorry, hold on. So what happens first in an essay is a hook to get your reader interested, then you introduce your topic, then you have your thesis, then you go into your body paragraphs. Each topic sentence transitions from the previous idea, introduces the topic, and ties it to this topic to your claim in your thesis. Then you give supporting ideas, and then you end with why the topic matters. You repeat for each body paragraph. Then in your conclusion, you revisit the main claim, what you're trying to say, and supporting ideas, how you proved it. Say revisit the supporting ideas, and then you end with a super so what, which is why the entire essay matters. If you are using research, you would then have a works cited in MLA format, and in your body paragraphs you'd also have in-text citation. But I don't think it's good to write an essay in that order, so I think it's better to start by writing your thesis, which is the topic of your essay, what you're trying to say about the topic in a claim, and then the supporting points you're going to use to prove that, which will be your body paragraphs. Alright, so hold on. So if my topic is film editors, and what I'm trying to say about them is that they achieve success, and then my supporting points are their responsibilities, their salary, and their skills all help them to achieve success. So I have a thesis, then I'm going to go into my first body paragraph, which is about responsibilities and how responsibilities of film editors help them to achieve success. So I could say something like, in order to make a film or video great, that ties to being successful, film editors take their many responsibilities, such as creating smooth transitions, seriously. So I know the topic of the sentence, I understand how it helps support the thesis, I know where we are headed. Next up, you would put in your examples, support, facts, all cited correctly if you are using research. So for example, some facts, assembling raw footage together is mainly what film editors do. This is all about their responsibilities. And we should transition between ideas. Editors have to be able to perform tasks correctly. Editors have to receive an outline of the script of what's being filmed to prepare. They take hours or days to work on the footage. And then I have an in-text citation because this fact I got from this author. So to use in-text citation, first you use the author name. If no author was listed on the source, use the title of the article, which I'll show you in a minute. So according to, and then I introduce why she's credible, why I can trust her, Gemma Halder, so I know that this is from another source, and then she paraphrased this, so I paraphrased here. So it's not a quote. If I was quoting directly, word for word, what Gemma Halder said, I would put quotation marks around it. But I didn't quote, I wrote it in my own words, so I don't need to put quotation marks. but I still cited her. Alright, so then I'm done giving all my information about the responsibilities of film editors, so I wrap up the paragraph by explaining why it's important for film editors to understand their responsibilities. That's the so what. And it matters because they put strenuous effort into their responsibilities to make film and perfect the film for viewers. So it's important because this is how they perfect film, their job. Alright, so I go on to my second supporting idea about achieving success in film, which is how the salary helps film editors achieve success. So I start out with the topic sentence where I transition from the idea of responsibilities to the idea of salary. I list salary, the topic, and I tie it back to my thesis about achieving success. Such as through, while these responsibilities are time-consuming, there's my transition, editors earn an above-average salary to compensate for these stresses. Okay, so I'm still in my topic for my thesis. I transitioned. I listed the body paragraph idea, which is salary. So next I would give my supporting information, my facts. If I cite anything from other sources, I would cite that here in text, author name or article title. Alright, so some facts. They get paid based on how much experience they have. In the last census, and then I have a in-text citation. This is from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics from the Federal Department of Labor. So these facts came from that source. I know it because I cited it. So I have some facts about their salary, the highest and lowest 10%, beginners. Their skills aren't yet honed, their transitions are clunky, so they don't get paid as much. I transition between these ideas and show how they're created. The editors who had experience earn more than that. Editors that are professional make much more. Here's an in-text citation with an author name. So if I don't want to introduce or talk about the author or the article title in the sentence, like I did with the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics or Gemma Halder up here, I can use parenthetical citation, which goes at the end of the sentence in parentheses, use the author's last name or the article title, and then the period goes at the end. And I know that these two facts are from her website. Alright, then I would end the paragraph with why it's important for film editors to get this salary or understand the salary. So what? The more professionally done films are made by editors with more experience, so the more experience, the more money is earned. So it's important to understand how salary works so that as you get more experience, you understand that your salary is going to go up and you're not frustrated with a low salary. And I got that information from this website, which didn't have an author but has an article title, Film and Video Editors and Camera Operators. It's in quotation marks because it's a title of a short work. And then it's in parentheses because it's an in-text citation at the end of the sentence. Alright, then I go on to my next body paragraph, which is going to be about technology skills. So I start out by transitioning from salary to skills, listing the topic of skills, and tying it to my overall thesis about how film editors achieve success. Okay, so something like, while experience helps improve an editor's capabilities, so I just talked about getting more experience gets you more money, inherent or practice skill is also very important in editing. So now we're going into skills, not just experience. So then I'm going to give my facts, reasoning, support, explanations, in-text citations about skills in editing. So then I said how final results of a film are based off the skills. I go into the skills, fine arts, graphic design, software skills they need to learn, the latest technology, how to communicate. The editors also need, see I'm transitioning between the ideas, and I got that information from Gemma Halder again, so I have my in-text citation. So then I end this paragraph with why it's important for editors to know their skills. So they need to have these skills in order to get projects done perfectly, with less stress, and therefore be a successful video editor, which is my thesis about how to be successful. Alright, so I have all my supporting ideas in my body paragraphs, all my facts. I'm ready to conclude my essay. So I start out by revisiting the main point that I was trying to make about achieving success in film editing, and then I revisit the supporting ideas I made about responsibilities, salary, and skills. Alright, so I revisited the responsibilities, the salary, the skills, and then my claim about being successful. So the purpose of my essay, I revisited that to remind the reader and to show them that I'm starting to conclude. So then the rest of my concluding paragraph is where I conclude about successful film editors and explain why it is important to know, why film editors are important, how they make a difference, what's worthwhile about them. So they're important because they understand the processes in film creation to help other people, other editors, the rest of society about film. They're humble because the true success happens when people don't even notice the editing. And then they work behind the scenes, all without expectation for their success, because remember, my purpose here was about success, so I'm concluding about success for film editors. And then my takeaway for the reader is that film editors do this because they love the art and magic of great film. So the beauty of a final creation. Alright, so I have my essay almost done. I haven't yet introduced my topic, so I'm going to go back to my thesis. Now you begin an essay with a hook, so I'm going to say something that's sort of broad to get the reader starting to think about my topic of film editing. So I could start out by talking about film in general, watching movies. Most people enjoy watching movies, but of those, very few consider what it takes behind the scenes. So I introduce with movies, and I also get the reader thinking about the behind the scenes part. So then the rest of my introduction before the thesis is I introduce my topic of film editors so that the reader understands where I'm headed and what I'm talking about. Alright, and I start to get more specific from beginning to end here. Movies could not exist without actors, screenwriters, but film editors and video editors are the ones making the final project come together. So I've introduced now film editors in my second sentence there, my fourth phrase though. And then I say what they do. They assemble film, they work with directors, they don't normally become famous, but they are still important. And then I had my thesis, which I wrote earlier. So now my essay is done, beginning to end, but I'm not quite done. I still need a title, and I haven't made a works cited yet. So my title, I want to introduce the topic and get the reader interested in reading on. So I could say something like behind the scenes of film and video editors, because that's what I'm talking about, film and video editors and what they do. And I have kind of a metaphor with behind the scenes because they are literally behind the scenes, and we are going behind the scenes metaphorically about them. Alright, so what I have left is my works cited, which is going to go on the beginning of a new page at the end of my essay. This is where I cite all the sources I used. I've listed 2 in my essay, or 3 in my essay, so I need to cite them in my works cited. So I should have these saved on a note sheet somewhere, on a website or a Google site that I made, on a paper. You know, you need to save your notes as you're researching to find your good sources. Alright, so here's one of the sources I used, and here's another source that I used. So there's a couple ways that you can cite this. You can just look up the order of MLA format works cited from Purdue. So this will tell you the order of what to include. So all that stuff, and then here you go. There's the order. Or you could use, say, like Son of Citation Machine or EasyBib websites or Noodle Tools. Another thing that you can do is use the Google Docs add-on. So add-on, I would have to get it if I don't have it. If I have it, I go to EasyBib, Manage Bibliography. Here's my first source. If I only used information from the summary page, then that's all I would need to cite. But if I used other pages, then I would do this multiple times. So I select my source. Maybe I also use this page. So I'll also put this page in. I use the same thing twice. This is why the add-on's not perfect. And then my last source here, I put it in. There it is. So I'm all done, so I add it to my document. It puts it here. I got the top of a new page. So it wasn't perfect because it missed Gemma Halder. So Halder, comma Gemma here. And then this was how to become, not summary. Alright, how to become. So you have to kind of check it and edit it. Otherwise, here is my works cited. So that is all correct. So I have my works cited, my in-text citation, I have everything I need. I would read through it now and revise, make it better, check for my diction, my organization. But once I'm all good, then you submit.